Everybody rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, and Grant Miles.
That's it. Come on, Amy.
Are we on? We're on. What's up, Houston, and everybody tuning in on Facebook.
Looking outside, Christian.
Welcome into Sports with Webels. Jeff Michael, and we're missing one of our threesomes here today. Lauren Leal is out. So Grant Miles, and then we had Washington Ho scheduled. But look, we're going to talk about it. I don't give a shit. Like, I know this dude. Like, I mean, calls me 30 minutes prior to the show, and he cannot make it. So, in his absence, I call a buddy of mine down the street from here in Christian's Tailgate in Midtown, lives down here, and my boy Mike Leitner shows up. What's up, Mike?
How you doing, bud?
Man, I'm good.
You got to turn down a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
What's
go.
up, man? How you doing?
Mike's in the hot seat today, man.
It's normally Jeff, so, he's just happy with somebody else.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just going to give you this. Go ahead and share that what you need to.
Oh, for real?
Oh, he did. Grant really, like, on our other
I'm
show,
the guy.
Lights Out? Yeah, it's
I'm the
like,
guy.
Here, give it to Grant.
I'm the guy that does that.
But welcome
That's
into
my role.
Sports with Balls, man. This is going to be an incredible show. We got Dan Green calling in here in a little bit. Is that him?
No,
Oh,
it's
is
not
that
him.
y'all messed up?
It's one of them.
Dan
They got
Green.
it fixed, though.
Dan Green's calling in from LA, comedian out there. Used to live here in Houston. You actually know Dan pretty well.
Really well.
Yeah.
Dan,
I can't wait to hear this phone
That's
call.
one of my best mates.
My best mates. He's from Australia. You'll figure it out in a minute. But this is Sports with Balls, and before Dan calls in, man, let's run down some scores real quick. Today's scoreboard brought to you by Smarter Mortgage. Call David Carrier at 281-650-0648. Mention SWB, get a free quote ASAP. He does refinancing and purchasing. So let's run down some MLB scores real quick from this afternoon. Red Sox 11-4 over the White Sox. Nationals 0, Cardinals 4. Phillies and Giants still tied 0-0. A bunch of games playing tonight. The Twins and Athletics are postponed. So that's all we got on today's
What did that
schedule.
game get postponed for? COVID?
I'm assuming COVID.
Okay. I mean, that's how it is now. I mean, anytime somebody's not
I
playing,
can't
you just
believe
assume it's COVID.
Well, Astros got 4 of their 5 players back today from the COVID list or whatever. I mean, they never even said it was COVID.
Did you just air quotes COVID?
He did.
Okay. Just checking on
It's,
that.
hey, Jeff, it's a real thing, just so you know.
It's real.
It's not fake.
It's not.
That's a different podcast.
Get off this damn show, Mike. Get out of
we
here.
only got an hour, man, so we can't get into
That'd
all
be funny
that.
as hell. But yeah, so I don't know what happened with the Astros. Really, that it's not hush hush, but like they didn't say, Altuve's the only one that's not back yet, and he's supposed to be back in the next couple of days. So
Correct.
it is what it is.
I thought you were the Astros expert.
I thought it was the Astro.
I got all the information. I just gave it.
You
to
said I don't.
No, I said I don't know when Altuve is going to be back. The other guys,
okay, I got
the
you.
other guys traveled today, and they'll be at the game tomorrow.
I got you. Okay.
Bregman, here you go. Bregman got cornrows.
He got what?
Cornrows.
Wait, what?
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
100%.
Somebody pull it
100%.
up.
Yeah.
Somebody- where's
that
it?
doesn't
Alex
sound
Bregman,
right.
pull up
I need to see
Bregman's
this.
Instagram. He's got cornrows.
Oh, it's on his Instagram?
Yeah, he posted it today.
no.
I'll get this cornrow if he did.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's see what happens here.
Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Mike, you jumped down my throat a little bit for this Topo Chico new hard seltzer, and it's because you have your own. What is yours?
Well, I'm a co-founder. There's a founder named Marco. It's his genius idea of this thing, and it's Coral Spirits. It's a vodka seltzer. It's all natural, no artificial flavoring, no artificial sweetener, 2 grams of sugar. It's really crisp. It's amazing.
What's your flavors? This
So
is
we've got-
strawberry guava.
Gazoon type.
It's not
what
bad.
are the
They
flavors?
tried to hand me
So,
pineapple, but pineapple
you know-
anything in unless it's like vodka pineapple, I'm not.
Right. So Coral, it's basically we have a lemon, a cucumber watermelon, and then we also have a black tea. And so basically, though, it's Myers lemon with a pinch of sea salt.
Are you trying to spin the healthy thing with the black
Dude, it's
tea?
100% healthy. It might as well be vegan.
It's not 100% healthy. You're gonna get drunk.
Well, I mean,
I mean, you are.
I mean, in that way,
it's hard to dispute that.
I've been doing that for a lot of people for a long time, and I think
That's
this is
true.
the healthiest version I can give them.
That's very true. And also, I mean, it's great for the river. That's what I'm.
Oh, it's great for anything.
perfect
Soccer
for a river.
moms. I mean,
Soccer moms.
Well, 100%. I mean, and I think that's perfect for my wife because she's the one that turns around and looks at the ingredients. She wants to know, all the specials on it and what's going on. That sounds perfect.
2 grams
for her.
of sugar, 100 calories. It's gluten free. It's sugarcane vodka.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll bring. Don't worry. Next week we'll have some.
Where is it? Where can you get some?
You can get it at most of the bars inside the Loop. We're now out in Tomball. We just hit up Kemah. In Central Texas, we are exploding.
That's awesome.
San Antonio and Austin.
Yeah.
From what I understand, don't quote me.
Man, you're lucky. Oh, come on, Dan. Come on,
we need that phone call. So basically, from what I understand, is we've outsold High Noon and Canteen combined for the year 2020 already.
Damn.
So
that's awesome.
Like I said,
dude.
don't
quote
this guy. Hey, look, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we added a new little feature to our show. We now have the scores on the bottom, so you'll be able to see the scores running across as I mentioned them or whatever. They're up to date, and I believe we even have yesterday's scores on there as well as today. So more and more like the best sports show on TV.
So we don't need you anymore to do that at the beginning.
Dude, what?
I'm saying what everybody was thinking.
Exit stage right.
Absolutely.
What's up?
The beginning of your stage.
What's up, Kevin? Hey, Lonnie, I appreciate you watching, even though your daughter is missing today. She's out of town, I believe. Danny, what's up? What's going on, Dave? John,
I
Mike.
can't find a picture.
You can't find
Bregman.
Bregman?
No, I can't find it.
It's on there.
You missed out.
It's on there. I mean, I didn't just make that up. That'd be something really weird to make up.
No, that would be a very strange thing to just out of the blue say, hey, did you know Bregman got cornrows?
Did you hear Mike Leitner had hair?
How long have you shaved your head? How long has that been?
Oh, man.
Both of y'all should have this conversation. Y'all go to the same barber.
I guess around 30.
Yeah, me.
30-ish?
How?
Ish.
How
30th?
long?
I was 30s. So.
Okay.
But I started with the 2-guard.
Yeah, see,
Then
I'm going to have to
one
eventually,
guard. Then I just bicked it.
I'm going to have to eventually get to that point.
Do y'all get mad at me?
Why?
No, I do. I 100% do.
No, I don't get mad
No,
at you.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, because
you're
Michael
mad?
said. Michael said.
I have hair envy.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
No,
it's
I
only
don't
the
get that
guys with the really good hair, and then they do it straight up so everybody can see it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Throw
like-
it in your face.
God, I'm going to light it
Look
on
how
fire.
much hair I've got. I can raise it all the way up here. How about that?
Yeah,
I can do it Johnny Bravo style.
True story. I needed a haircut today. You know?
That's what it is, Johnny Bravo. I tell him that all the time.
Real quick, I wanted to mention this before Dan calls in. Look, it didn't perturb me, but Alex Smith retired today from the NFL. I think Grant and I talked about this a couple months ago after, he had a decent season, but remember he had that leg injury? It was the wrong leg, but he had the leg injury, and everybody was worried about the reconstructed leg.
Yeah.
And I think we said that he should call it a career after, life-threatening injuries. But the part I want to bring up is that ESPN had this, booming out there that it looked like he belonged in the Hall of Fame, and he had played for 27 years, and he was Tom Brady retiring.
Yeah, they can quickly get out of hand on
It was
stuff.
unreal. It was everywhere. It's like, oh my God, I'm like, what teams he play for again?
Right.
Isn't he off Washington?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't pick him up. They didn't ask him back. He did so great last year, they didn't ask him to come back.
Yeah, so people are like, oh, and it's, listen.
This is kind of like this podcast. I was so good this time, y'all are not asking me back. But go ahead, y'all
No,
talk
I want
sports.
you back.
Y'all talk
You're
sports.
already back, man. You're already back.
Hey, Derek Dobbins, Mike, says, like my hair, Mike. Do you know who Derek?
I know Derek very well.
Yeah, so I
he's
guess
good people. He's actually one of the
he's got-
investors.
does he have-
Where you asked where you can get coral at is FAO. It's the newest speakeasy party bar right around the corner in Midtown.
I'm sure
Speakeasy, I
Christians
like
will
that.
love that you just said that on here.
My bad. Sorry, Christian's Tailgate.
They can't hear you. It's all right.
Yeah, they're not paying attention.
We're
Yeah.
here at Christian's Tailgate in Midtown, right around the corner from FAO.
Perfect.
Where all the people go.
Oh, perfect. We're waiting on Dan Green, comedian from LA, good friend of ours here on the show. We're waiting on him to call. For those of y'all that were waiting on Washington Ho,
Derek.
yeah, he didn't have it. He's sick today, I guess. But whatever. That's not how we roll here. We're gonna get everything into you after we get this phone call with Dan Green out the way.
Just so you know, 190 million Alex has made in his career. So I think he's fine.
So he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I'm sure he would have liked to have played, but he's like, well, I'll take that money and I'll be all right. So yeah,
$190 million.
189,725 to be exact. But yes, he's
We can
fine.
round up.
Yeah,
We can round up on
190.
Yeah.
Let's see. Call David Carrier, Smarter Mortgage. We went over the scoreboard. We're waiting on Dan Green to call. I just don't want to get into the NFL or anything too much right now. I do have something to talk about here in a little bit. Another show that Mike and I are going to be doing, which should be pretty interesting. And I think on the bottom of the screen it'll say, I even put I put the name of it on there.
Did you already?
Yeah, as soon as they get up. But Mike's got to get out of here in about 10, 15 minutes. So
Where are you going?
Oh man, so we're doing a liquid. Don't get me plugged in.
Oh no,
boy.
he got real excited when I asked that question.
let
He's
me
like,
go
"Well,
ahead.
it's
Shit.
funny you bring that up."
So I've got to run from here to FAO, touch base there. Then we're
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Did I just?
Oh no, you
Did I
won
just get
something.
cut off?
You won something.
You won,
What did he
you
win?
won something.
Hey, fried chicken dinner.
All
Coral.
right, I believe that
Want
we
some
have
coral.
Dan Green. Dan, are you there?
G'day, fellas. How's it going?
God,
all
can we
little
turn
loud,
him
little
down?
loud, Dan. little loud.
He's
Welcome in. I want to welcome in Dan Green, a native Australian.
Is it an Australian thing to be late?
Will they wake up later?
Oh, okay, I got you. All right.
Australian, Texan, and now Californian. Let me ask you this: which country or state do you like better? At all three?
Oh, I gotta tell you, I love Texas, but Texas nearly killed me. So I mean, I'm
You mean the guy
right
that's
now.
sitting in between me and Grant probably most of the times nearly killed you?
Yeah, Mike had a bit to do with that. Yeah, how you doing, Mike?
Okay, so look, people can't take Texans in little doses. Okay, we come hard, we come fast.
There you go. You see what they did with Dan's picture there?
Oh, look at Dan! Oh, that's awesome. Dan, you're covering up Mike right now.
That's actually perfect because I got a phone call 20 minutes before this, and he's like, "Hey, can you be here?" So I was on the freeway driving in. So I'm actually gonna go to the little boys' room while Dan talks. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Little boys'
Mike,
room.
before it's pretty damn funny actually because Mike's in here for Washington Ho. Now, if you'd have come up to us about 6 years ago and said that you'll be listening to Jeff Michael's podcast
Yeah.
with talking about Washington Ho's HBO reality show with Dan Green, the comedian in California, your bloody head would explode.
Oh, 100%. Hey, I got to ask you, obviously, because this is Sports with Balls, I got to ask you about the Dodgers there. And, obviously they're off to the best record in baseball. I mean, what's the feeling there in L.A.? I mean, they won the World Series last year, but there's an asterisk by it. People say there's an asterisk by the Astros, but there's an asterisk by that one. What's the feeling there in L.A. with the start that they got going?
If there's an asterisk in LA, I haven't seen it. I'll tell you that
Well,
much
yeah, you won't
right
see
now.
it in L.A., no.
Oh no, I actually dabbled because the Astros broke my heart with the whole asterisk. But I thought, you know what? I asked around. I said, can I support the Angels or the Padres or the A's down here or something like that? And then someone said that would be worse than supporting the Astros. And I tried. I watched the first 3 games of the Astros season, and I feel like the guy in Brokeback Mountain. I can't quit him. I'm stuck with him, man.
Well, Mike just got back from the restroom, so y'all can talk. I want to hear some of these stories real quick. Is there any sports-related stories? Did y'all go to Astros game together? Because that would be funny.
Oh, we did run into each other at a football game once. No,
Texans game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a Drinkery jersey on, and he always sends it to me on my birthday. Well, he sends me pictures all the time, but we can't put those up.
Oh, man.
But he has a picture, and it's just our picture. It's like one of those framers you have up in the house, and so.
Oh, yeah, because Dan Green is going to have you framed in his house.
Oh, definitely.
100%.
Oh, why not? I want to have 2 pictures of Mike like he's the man.
I mean, I know his family via phone calls.
Yeah. Mike Lightner's met my dad in person. He's one of the 6 people in Houston who've actually met my father, which is an interesting experience.
That is very interesting.
How did he get the pleasure of doing that? How'd that go about?
I took my dad to the Drinkery, and I put 4 or 5 people in a room with my dad, and I think it was Mike who said to me, "That's the most frightened and hilarious situation I've ever been in."
Man,
And that is a true statement.
I remember me and Joe Applewhite went to we went there. Was it Monday nights or was that Monday nights that
Yeah,
Joe did?
Mondays.
So, yeah, Joe had a promotion there Monday nights. We went there, and the U of H coach was in there. He would come in there all the time.
Which coach?
Tomlin. Was it Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin went to A&M.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
man, dude, we would sit there with him and get
Sumlin.
roasted.
Kevin Sumlin.
Kevin Sumlin. I
Yeah.
said Mike Tomlin. Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah.
The other black coach.
Pittsburgh, yeah. So, I mean, we would sit in there and we'd sit at the end and every Monday night he had a bunch of celebrities. Andre Johnson used to come in there a lot.
Still the homie.
Yeah, he still.
And we knew who each other were, but I never went up to him. And then, like 6 months into the deal, he's coming in every Monday. I'm like, so I know who you are. I think you might know who I am. I just want to say thanks for coming out. And he's just one of the most grounded, humble human beings you've ever been around, for one of the greatest athletes to ever play any sport.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, so he was there with his wife or whatever at the time. I'm not trying to get him in trouble.
Too late.
Well, he had to go. He had to go to the restroom, right? So Joe was like, you know, Joe's the promoter, Mike's bar owner, and they were like, stand right here and don't let anybody stand at the bar because it's packed. I mean, there's hundreds of people in there, and so I'm just standing there. I'm like just protecting like the chairs for Andre Johnson while he goes and takes a piss. But that was my one and only occurrence of meeting Andre Johnson.
Here you go. Okay, y'all want to bring up? Let's bring up a sports topic here. We'll get Dan in on this. Andre Johnson, Hall of Famer or not?
Well, that's a hard one.
When you hear Andre Johnson, you think about his career. You think he's a Hall of Famer or a Hall of Fame potential?
If I lived in Houston, I think yes.
Yeah.
If I lived anywhere else, it's going to take a little bit of convincing, I think. Purely because of the record of the team at the time.
I agree with that, yeah.
For output, yeah, for sure. He should be in there for sure.
I mean, the dude had 14,000 receiving yards over his career. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't realize that he was the only person.
Just because of the team's history.
Yeah, the quarterbacks he had to
shine.
play with were. I mean, the quarterbacks he had to play with were just I mean, I think he played with 9 quarterbacks. They were all terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he may as well have been playing with two left-handed guys. I mean, he had no luck at all.
And think about that. He was that productive, and he had the quarterbacks that he's had in his career. I mean, he led the league in receiving 2 years in a row. He led him in receiving catches twice, yards per game 3 times. I mean, the dude has done some things in the league that could put him at least in that conversation, in my opinion.
Hey, you know,
the only thing people are talking about in this town right now is Jake Paul. That's all I'm bloody hearing about.
that's what I was bringing up. I was literally, that's the question that I was like, before Mike gets out of here in a little bit, and I want to ask you, was that staged or not, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
Yes. Well, not to mention the fact that Askren's the worst boxer on the entire universe.
He actually said before the fight, though, Dan, he even said he's not a boxer. Jake, I mean, he went in this thing knowing he was going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, he is a fantastic wrestler, but he is not a boxer and cannot throw. He's like throwing handbags. He has no power at all. I mean, if you were going to pick anybody in the world to fight, that's the guy you want to fight the boxing match with. He's got nothing in him.
So,
now,
everybody's
now what you have in LA is everybody with an attitude in this city is gunning for Jake Paul. I'll fight both of those guys in a phone booth for $50. Him and his stupid brother.
So here's the thing: everybody hated Jake Paul, and I was listening to this thing earlier, and they're like, oh, they hated Jake Paul as a YouTuber, and then he did the first celebrity boxing match and hit a basketball player. Like, oh, we'll fight a real fighter. So now that he fought an MMA guy, now they're saying have a sanctioned boxing match, and if he knocks that guy out,
it was his brother who knocked out the basketball player.
It was one of the Pauls. I don't know.
See, I mean, nobody gives a shit.
So that's just it. It's celebrity boxing. Like, when did I mean?
That's a great way to put it. And we, on our show on Wednesday, I'm sure me and Grant will get in this into detail. But it is celebrity boxing, and it's like, so I mean, honestly, Dan, when you were in shape and you were bouncing here, and Mike's, Mike's been in plenty of bar fights here in Houston. Could you take down that dude if you knew box history? Don't tell me you haven't. I've seen him. I don't even want to bring in my brother.
Which dude are we referring to here?
Well, we'll talk about you first. I know you've thrown plenty of people out, including the guest that didn't show up today, Washington Ho.
I know we're looking forward to those fireworks.
Twice.
Twice.
Get it right.
Oh, some of the walls could talk.
I am quite confident in my ability to take out both Paul brothers in one sitting. I don't have no problem doing that.
Well, you were also, a background, Dan was also Special Forces.
I can do that now.
Yeah.
I can do that now.
He was Australian Special Forces.
Yeah, Dan could beat some people up pretty well.
They disguised him as a kangaroo and had him hiding.
Regular stuff, man.
He hid in the bush.
I bet it, yeah. Jumped around, hopped around, and found people.
I take both those guys right now.
Okay.
In my current fitness state, because it wouldn't go for more than 20 seconds, so it'd be all right.
Hey, Dan, tell us a little bit about what you're doing and where you're playing next, and so people know where you're playing in LA and whatnot before we gotta go.
Mate, right now I'm still doing a lot of online stuff. I have a show called Are You My Veggie Mate, where I force feed American comedians good old Australian Vegemite. It's good stuff. They love it. It's a little bit dark, but you know what? Not too bad. I have a podcast called The Verbal Gym that's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. and I'm on a show this weekend in LA on Saturday night called Bryson Banks Presents. You can find it all on my Instagram at Dan Green Comedy. And Pablo Francisco is the headliner on that show, so that should be a hoot.
That's awesome, man. I couldn't be more
funny.
proud of you, dude. I know the story, and we've told it here before on the show. I mean, how many nights you slept in your car in LA, the struggles you've been to where you're going, man. Congratulations on everything.
So proud of you,
Hey,
man.
269 days in the car, and now I've got my little serial killer hole behind me here where I just sit out here and crack out jokes all day. So
Well, it's working,
all good.
man.
I already,
Hey.
already did 2 open mics today, and I got 2 more to go tonight. So
Damn.
it's good.
Hey, Dan, what are you doing next Monday?
I have no idea. What's going on next Monday?
Well, Jeffrey here called me last Thursday. I was hungover
yeah.
as a goat after my birthday. And he calls me, he goes, hey, man, how'd you like to have your own podcast? And my mind was still just as cloudy as it was the night before. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I've been having this thing I've been talking about. Man, we're going to do a podcast called Knights of the Round Table. And it's DJs, it's promoters, door guys, girls, guys, bartenders. I mean, everything. Just talk about the business, what's new, what's happening, crafty people, you know.
Hey,
and
put
so,
me in. I'll even give you a taste, okay? For 2.5 years, I stood in front of a nightclub with a radio earpiece in my ear and no radio in my pocket.
oh,
Damn.
Yeah, it's amazing. You get yourself a tour where you sit and people go, you know what, let me check with my boss. I'll see what he says. And you check with you know what, he's a prick. Wish I could let you in. But unfortunately, the guy in my ear says no. There was never anybody in my ear. For
Never
2.5
anybody
years I did that, man.
That's
well,
great.
man, Dan, we miss you and we love you. And we are really super proud of you. I am super proud of you. You know that.
Thanks, Mike. I'll talk to you during the week. I'm
All
definitely
right,
up for that.
yeah, let's catch up.
You
Love
got
you, buddy.
it. You got it.
All right, Dan.
Dan Green from LA.
Bye, Dan.
Always good to have Dan on the show, dude. Awesome guy, funny as hell. Go check him out on his Instagram and stuff. But now let's get into it's 7:22. You want to leave? You want to stay?
Are you about to get into some sports?
Yes, a lot of it.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I've got to go, but I would like to say thank you to both of you.
Yeah,
This
dude,
was,
absolutely.
I guess
This is fantastic.
I guess I'm popping my cherry for podcast.
You're doing good. It was great.
Mike
I enjoyed it. Mike
Mike Leitner
satisfying.
is going to be the host of a new show called Knights of the Round Table. It's about nightlife here in Houston, a bunch of different things that are coming up in Houston. We're going to do it on Mondays from 8 to 9 o'clock. It's going to be pretty fun. Stay tuned. It will be out this week. We'll have Facebook page, Instagram page, everything. So I'm sure you guys will see it.
Hey, thank y'all so much, guys.
Yeah,
You
man,
got it, Mike.
absolutely.
Hey,
Hey,
and
good
then
seeing you,
drink. I mean, bring us some fucking.
Oh, hey,
seltzer.
it'll be here.
right.
It'll be here.
All
I'll
right.
have it at Christian's Tailgate.
Yeah, I
you can
want
get
that,
Coral.
man. I want to give it a shot.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all
Yeah,
be
man.
I may
Thank
or may
you.
not see you in a little bit. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you'll see me. All right. thank
Get
y'all.
out of here.
All right, man.
Bye, you guys.
Later.
All right, so since Lauren Leal is not here, I will do What's Hot with Jeff Michael.
Let's do it, man. I'm anxious. Let's get sportsy.
For some reason, that doesn't sound right.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But let's get sportsy. I'm down for it.
All right, let's go. What's Hot brought to you by Joe Applewhite Realty, 713-291-5270. Call Joe for all things realty related. Whatever he touches turns to sold. And also his face is on your local Kroger grocery
Cart. There you go.
So I'm getting it down.
You got it out.
Call Joe. All right, today's What's Hot. Man, first thing, we just talked about it. Jake Paul KO's knocked him out. I mean, it was a vicious hit.
Yeah. I can understand when you look at that hit why it, I mean, it's hard to say if the fix was in or not. I think if people anticipated that was not going to go long. I think people anticipated that Paul was going to win it. I just don't think people anticipated it going that quickly.
I mean, I didn't either. And I was watching the pregame, and that guy, he's just out of shape, couldn't box. And then I was, and the interesting part about it was Snoop Dogg, obviously. We'll get into that. Yeah. But what was Jake Paul doing fighting this guy?
Money, man. And I think it just comes, hey, look, that guy's, to Jake Paul's credit, him and his brother are terrific at marketing themselves. They're terrific at making people aware of them. They've taken whatever small fame they had before all this Instagram famous stuff and just increased it. And I mean, hey, much respect for that. Like, those dudes are terrific promoters of themselves.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I saw a couple of tweets today from, I mean, of course, Twitter's blowing up. I mean, they've challenged Conor McGregor. They've challenged everybody. I mean,
correct.
You know, just waiting for that paycheck. And I get it. That's the business that they're in. Somebody said today, you know, much respect to them for doing what they're doing as far as getting money.
Dude.
Like, you cannot hate their hustle.
I guarantee you, if you just look in dollars over this past weekend, he fought for one round, or not even a full round, right? I mean, that didn't
not
even go,
even.
yeah, and probably made himself in real cash, probably made himself $2 to $3 million. And that's not that's including the purse, but just in sponsorship deals or whatever else.
Well,
I mean,
he said it was 1.2 to 1.7 million of the pay-per-views, which they said might. I mean, eventually when it all tallies up, might be 2 million. I mean,
and I'm sure he's getting a part of that. So I mean, was it worth it? I mean, would it be worth it to you if you were like, hey, you can train, you can get and fight this guy that you're probably going to fight, you're probably going to beat already, you already know that, to make $2 to $3 million?
Well, hell yeah.
Okay, I mean that's why he does it.
And I'm wondering now, since he did hit him so quick, so fast, and then it shows him after the fight, not Jake Paul, but man, whatever that dude's name was, I forget it now, because he's not like, I never knew he was a UFC fighter.
Me neither. I've never heard of the guy
clue.
until this fight. No
And
idea.
So it says afterwards that he's in the back shaking hands, laughing, joking around, and that's
Right.
why it all popped up today that this thing was staged. Like just
Sure.
a fake.
And what do you think this guy was doing before all this? Probably nothing.
Dude, he was out of shape. I mean, he looked terrible.
And who knows? I don't know if it came out what they paid him, but the dude was like, "I'll make a couple $100,000, get hit, and then I'll go hang out in the party, hang out in the back."
To what we just said, didn't know he was even a UFC fighter.
Never heard of the guy.
And now he got paid better than all the UFC fighters in one round.
I mean,
half a round.
it's genius.
Speaking of that fight, let's move on to the fight right before that, which was, I mean, just as controversial, if not more, with the Regis Prograis fight. Those of y'all that know anything about boxing, Regis was tearing this guy apart. And
Playing with him.
yeah, and I said he was going to go down to round 6 because we've had Regis on another show.
Yes.
An incredible guy. Go back and check out that. But
Lights out.
lights out with Lou Savarese. But Regis did in the 6th round so Regis hits him right in the side. As fast as those guys hit, you can't really see
Correct.
exactly how it is. So he goes down like it's a low blow, like he got hit in the nuts, like balls, sports with balls.
There you go. Link it in.
Little plug.
Yep.
So he just falls to the ground, and he acts like, I mean, they literally bring out the doctors, a stretcher, and they're replaying it on a big screen in front of him.
Yeah.
And the fist never even hit him.
When you watch it live, I thought he hit him in the stomach.
Yeah, so did I.
And so I was like, oh, yeah, that must have been a big stomach shot. And then to your point, you look at it on the other angles and you look at the slow motion, it was, I would say, would be a glancing blow in the kidney area, I guess.
Well, the guy
on
had
the
his
side,
arm.
on
The guy had his
rib.
arm down, right? So it went
Yeah.
like this and around. He just completely missed him. And the guy to get carted out on a stretcher.
Yeah, no, his response and his reaction was, and you could almost kind of tell Regis after he did it, just kind of looked at the ref like, is it over now? Like what? Like Regis, I thought was just kind of like, is this dude for real?
Yeah, he couldn't understand it. And so, which makes it even more controversial a little bit, is that they weren't sure, like, if they called it a low blow, the other guy wins by default.
Correct. Yeah.
Disqualification.
Correct.
I mean, Regis was sitting in the corner like, what in the hell?
Right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so it goes to basically a decision. They stop the fight.
Yep.
Goes to a decision on the cards, and obviously Regis, he had him in every round, almost on every card. Regis was killing him, and in my opinion, that's the reason that he went down.
Right.
But today, the WBO comes out and says that they ruled it a knockout. Done.
Which is good for Regis. I mean,
Yeah,
it's good
great
for his
for Regis.
record. Yeah.
Great. I can't wait. I can't say that yet.
Possibility.
Possibility that we'll
Possibility
see.
we'll be able to talk to him more in person.
Yeah, that would be amazing to have him on the show again. Well, on Lights Out.
But it just goes back to what we've talked about on the show, what we've talked about on this show, what we've talked about all the time, which are these fights, and especially these fights that are like this, are they? Good job, Ashley. Ashley, she's really
Ashley.
working hard not to be seen on
Oh
camera.
my god.
Are these?
I've asked her plenty of times to come on, and like
She don't want to do it?
She can't do it.
No. She don't want to do it.
Something about like even like some people. I mean, remember when we first did this show,
Yes.
and you had been on the microphone for a long time.
Yeah.
Like you had been doing this and podcasts and coaching people on stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I mean, you helped me.
You were deer in headlights.
Yeah, you helped me get comfortable.
You were stuttering
But
your way through
You
it.
could still go through. I was.
You were, dude. I remember we were talking about UT football, and you said we were talking about the quarterback, and you were trying to say Vince Young, and you just couldn't say it. I was like, Vince Young? You're like, yeah, Vince Young.
I still get caught doing that too, man.
Yeah, no,
but,
it's all good.
But I mean, she won't come on the camera, and I think it's the
Sure, it's
lights
intimidating.
and
Yeah,
voice stuff like
100%.
that. But got helped out by the best, and now we're partners over here in these shows.
You're damn right.
Love it. Let's get to something that really, if the Astros are doing bad, the only thing that makes me happy is the Yankees doing worse.
I think that's what makes everybody happy. If you're not a Yankees fan, the fact that the Yankees suck right now, it brings everybody's spirits up.
Are the Yankees the Cowboys of the MLB?
Well, the Yankees have at least won a World Series in the last almost 30 years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's, they can't say that. But, I mean, they're getting to that point. I mean, there's the expectation of every season, no matter what happens, the Yankees have the expectation that they're going to be one of the top teams in the league. And now, to your point of what you said about the Astros, let's don't get all caught up in the first, 15 games of the season or whatever it is. I mean, things could change, things could turn around, but yes, to see them at the bottom at 5-10 in their division is fantastic.
The Yankees?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's fantastic.
And, it's their offensive struggles that have put them there. They have a decent defense, but their offense is horrendous. Speaking of defense, I cannot believe that I saw this the other day. Did you know that Fernando Tatis? I'm gonna make sure I have this correct, man,
Yes,
because
please.
this is crazy.
We're going to go to your
Fernando
credibility.
Tatis Jr., who signed one of
Crazy
the
deal.
biggest contracts in MLB history,
Yep.
has 7 errors in his first 6 games. Now, in 57 games last season, he had 3 errors. He has 7 errors already.
Well, and that's where you wonder if it's really what comes down to the offseason and what these guys concentrate on and focus on. And I think a guy like Fernando, he's getting paid the big bucks, and I think he feels a lot of pressure at the plate and probably maybe ignored some other parts of his game and is really concerned about hitting, and as a result, his fielding has suffered. And who knows? This is where it happens, where it's hard to forget this guy is very young in his career. I mean,
Yeah, he is young.
So he still has a lot of growth, a lot of progression that he has to make, and so.
I just wanted to throw that in there. That's just.
But it is crazy.
That's a lot of errors.
It's a lot of errors for a guy that just signed a 14-year, $340 million contract.
This is all piling up to Carlos Correa getting an incredibly large contract in a little bit.
Which is why he sat out and he's not accepting what the Astros.
So that's
gave him.
what's hot with Jeff Michael, because Lauren obviously is not here. I got to thank a couple of people before we go any further. I want to thank Hybrid Technologies Group with Roy Stanton. When it comes to reliability, we're the ones you need. Phones, cable services.
You don't do it as good.
I know, I was trying. Phones, cable services, surveillance cameras, cloud services. He's just great at all of them. In fact, saw him yesterday. Just an incredible guy. I asked him, because he hangs my TVs, and I was like, man, because obviously the remodel, which will be, I don't know, next year before it's done. But like,
It looks like it.
dude, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But there's scaffolding that's been in my house for there's so many things that's frustrating. It makes you want to drink when you get home.
Yeah. Or on your show.
So call Roy Stanton at Hybrid Technologies, 832-336-1201. The reason I bring that up is that I asked him to hang my TVs, and he was like, I knew you were going to ask that. But he's great at hiding wires, making it look, flush on the wall, everything.
Right.
So he's fan. And there's people that can't do that. Myself, man, if you looked behind my living room TV,
Oh, dude.
there's like 9 holes in the wall,
Yeah.
like big ones. So I'm trying to find studs and shit.
They have stud finders, right?
Oh, shut up.
Is it my turn?
Ashley is a stud finder.
Ooh. That was a good one.
I appreciate that.
Construction Concepts is changing.
It's only because she's over there listening.
I know.
to this shit.
That was a good one. That's why I wanted to pause a little bit. I want you to enjoy that one.
Enjoy that
You're
one.
welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Construction Concepts, we want to thank them too, Mark and Josh. They are changing corporate culture one design at a time, from hospitality, corporate, luxury, retail, and medical facilities. Their team of experts can update or create a space that exceeds your expectations. Give them a call at 713-589-2682. That's buildithouston.com.
Bauer says, talking about the UFC fight, the dude has been in the UFC for years, or the Jake Paul fight. Dude's been in the UFC for years. He retired. He's been hit much harder with 4-ounce gloves, so he says it's totally staged. Askren,
it sure
that's it.
looked
Hey,
it.
look, as I'm talking, it says right now that he just came out. The guy, his name's Askren. He says the fight was not rigged. That just came out as we're talking.
Well, of course he's going to say that. Of course he is. It looked it. Look, if you're going to say that a fight's not rigged, don't make it look so obvious.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's he gonna come out and say? Yeah, it took a fall.
Yeah, it was rigged, man. I wasn't trying that hard, but hey, I got paid. I mean, yeah, he's definitely not going to do that. So, yeah, my advice to you is if it is going to get staged, at least make it look somewhat like old boy with the Radcock or whatever his name is that fought Regis. That dude made it look somewhat
Dude, Regis
believable.
was kicking his ass. I cannot. I mean,
Dodging every punch.
I really hope on Wednesday he's there because I mean, for me and you, that would be amazing to sit there and
and just say it. We don't know for sure, but we're doing our best to try to get Regis Prograves,
Lights
who
Out.
fought on Saturday night on our show on Wednesday night. Lights Out.
Phenomenal. And I want to ask him who's next because the next one's going to be huge.
Next one's going to be real big.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's get to some NFL. This story keeps getting crazier and crazier, and we brought it up last week about Aaron Donald and the guy that got his ass beat outside the bar.
Yes.
So now he said that Aaron Donald is not the attacker and that he threw a beer bottle at Aaron Donald. And we said, look, I got it wrong because I said that one of his homies would take the fall. I got it wrong. This guy's taking he's taking the fall.
Well, and that's what, if you remember when we were talking about on the last show, that's what I said. I said, man, it just doesn't, I don't know Aaron Donald personally, but from what I see, it seems out of character for the guy.
Yeah, like you said that.
I mean, the dude doesn't even look like, I mean, the dude's super aggressive on the field, but you know how you can look at somebody like Ndamukong Suh. When you watch him on the football field, that dude looks like a psycho sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you heard this story about Ndamukong Suh, you'd be like, it makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yes. That dude looks crazy.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald doesn't look that way, and so yeah, it was. And you know what? Credit to Aaron Donald. At least I didn't see it, but he didn't come out making saying a bunch of stupid stuff. He let it all play out. He was very, very calm, very collected. Let the truth come out. And now that guy looks like an idiot.
Yeah, his team, whoever Aaron Donald surrounds himself with, has obviously coached him very well on being, like you said, he's a humble guy, doesn't get in much trouble.
Right.
Might have been either he did it and they're paying that guy just to be like, screw it,
Right.
all good, or wrong place, wrong time for him.
Right.
You
Or
know?
somebody went to him and said, look, dude, we have the surveillance camera footage. Do you really want to go out with this and tell people that Aaron Donald,
What?
why is that name so hard to say? Aaron Donald did this to you.
Another thing that was pretty sad, Phillip Adams did a mass shooting. He's an ex-NFL player. It's absolutely terrible what happened in this situation. I don't want to get into detail because we like to have fun on the show.
Yeah.
But they're donating his brain, obviously ex-NFL player, donating his brain to CTE. Like, how serious is this CTE stuff?
Well, I mean, that's, you talk about
Are
Junior
they going to
Seau.
say that, yeah.
You talk about Junior Seau. You talk about other NFL players that have either taken their own life or taken the lives, unfortunately, of other people. And the families are donating their brains to CTE research. CTE is a real thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think sometimes when I have my arguments for and against. CTE is a real thing. I don't think anybody denies that. But I've also been of the understanding that I think you've played football. I've played football. Of course, we haven't played at that level, but
I was the quarterback.
Congratulations. That's awesome. You were the greatest quarterback ever. That's what I heard.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, Chris. When Chris Luna came on the show.
Yeah. Somebody said. Yeah. One of your fanboys.
Grant absolutely loves me patting myself on the back.
No, it's fun. I like watching people rub their own shoulders and pat themselves on the back. It's fun. I enjoy watching that.
I have to.
It's good, man. I'm glad. I like it. It makes me happy to see you do that. CTE. Yes. Back to that. I think when you play football, I think you kind of have an understanding or an expectation that this is a physical sport. I'm getting my head beat. Some things may happen physically to me that are not going to happen if I choose not to play football. So, I mean, it's kind of what you sign up for whenever you play football. I'm not saying it diminishes it and it makes it not a big deal. It's a big deal.
But for a lot of those guys, their career options between playing football and anything else, playing football money-wise is the only option.
Yes, is a way to make money and a way to make a living.
I remember reading a book a long time ago about football and linemen. And like it's something like going through 15, 20 car wrecks.
Yes.
Per game. Because especially the linemen in the middle.
Right.
And that's rough. And the older guys, the helmets weren't as sophisticated as they are now. And of course they've changed the rules on the kickoffs and stuff like that to not be as violent.
Correct.
But there's a lot of research that needs to be done on this. And if CTE, if they can directly correlate this to him playing football and him doing a mass shooting, that's terrible.
100%.
How do you stop that?
Yes. And I mean, the people that he took, and it's one of those. It's always difficult when you have these conversations about this kind of stuff. But you wonder, you never want anybody to lose their life. Period. Whether they take their own or whether they take their own along with other people. But why take other people with you? I don't want somebody doing it to themselves. But at least at least. Don't do that.
I'm trying to make light of this because I love Texas. Texas is passing a law where you don't even have to have a license to walk around with your gun now.
I know.
And it's
gonna be the Wild West.
You don't see that stuff here in Texas. Really, you don't. Austin, there was a guy, and there's always a backstory to this. In Austin, the guy that did that was a disgruntled employee, 19 years old, had medical issues.
Brian, yeah. Well, and then they just had one in Austin, and unfortunately, one of the victims in Austin had just signed a letter of intent with University of North Texas to play football, and he was supposed to report in a couple months. And
who's the most famous player to come out of UNT?
Mean Joe Green, man.
Yeah,
that would have to be the most famous. Well, you know who else came out of that played football, but it's not known for football? Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Did he?
Yes.
Man, I thought
Stone Cold Steve Austin is UNT. No.
Man, you talk about those the murder shows and stuff like that, like when they dive in it, I was talking about CTE, but watching these murder shows the other night, and sometimes I'll catch myself looking over because we'll watch 4 or 5 in a row, right?
Yes.
And then Dateline, and
correct.
I look, is she taking notes?
I know. I have the same conversations. We'll have those, and I'll tell my wife, I'll be like, look, if it ever gets really bad, let's just separate. Let's don't do all this.
No, Ashley said, she's like, I'll be a widow before I get divorced. So, y'all, listen, I'm saying it live on air. Y'all know if something happens.
Just so you know.
Just so y'all know.
Jeff is missing for 48 hours.
Yep.
You know who to go find.
That's it. All right, let's move on to a little bit of MLB. We'll get to your history here in a minute. I talked about the Fernando Tatis errors. Jacob deGrom again, dude. Luckily, they won, right? But he 15 KOs. This dude, is he not the best pitcher in the majors right now?
If he's not, I'd like to find out who is. If somebody's going to tell me that this dude is not the current best pitcher in the major leagues, the dude is 3 games, 0.45 ERA.
20 innings pitched, 0.45 ERA, only 11 hits, 1 earned run, only 3 walks, 35 strikeouts.
Can you imagine?
Does anybody have room on their roster for this guy?
That strikeout to walk percentage is crazy. To think about that, 35 strikeouts and 3 base on balls.
Even better, he's hitting 571, 4 for 7.
Damn.
Jacob deGrom is on point, dude. And he reminds me of like a better Zach Greinke. If Zach Greinke,
how?
Well, if Greinke had a fastball,
oh, okay.
Because he could pitch. Jacob deGrom, in my opinion, right now, best pitcher in Major League Baseball. There's another guy on the Phillies, I think, that's breaking a bunch of strikeout records. But man, and this is why we had that argument last show about moving it back 12 inches. I love experimenting with things because I want games to evolve. Baseball obviously is the one that hasn't evolved like football or basketball or anything. I saw a stat. Man, let me see if I can pull this up. All right, here it is. This is funny about evolving games. 17 players averaging 25 points per game this season. 1 player averaging 25 points a game in 2003, 2004. That'll show you how defense in the NBA is completely changing.
Yeah.
But baseball, what's the last thing they did? Raise the mound? Well, no, they did the 7-inning game, but that's double headers. But something drastic. I think the last one was raising the mound.
Yeah. Can we go back though to the statement that you just said, which
oh shit,
I need to ask. As somebody that's not an Astros fan, I sincerely think that you and other Astros fans severely overrate Zach Greinke.
Why?
When is the last time that dude was a top-level pitcher?
Well, he's last year.
Last year he had a 4.03 ERA.
Not bad.
You want your guy that's making the money that he made with a 4.03 ERA.
I go through your list of third pitchers in the rotation.
Okay.
And tell me who has better than a 4 ERA.
So you're talking about in terms of where they at in the pitching rotation.
Zach Greinke always gives up a couple runs early. He does, and he's going to give up 2 runs regardless of the game. He's not, because he throws really slow and methodical, stuff like that. But obviously he's been in the league for a long time. He's a great pitcher. I mean, shit, he pitched a 1-hitter in the playoffs last year.
Well, and to your point, I give him credit. Right now, he's got 4 base on balls, 16 strikeouts. So that's a good percentage. His whip is 1, just a little bit over 1. So he's competing, and the guy's won 1 Cy Young in his career. So he's won a Cy Young. I get it. I just feel like
you're wrapping off all these stats, and you're asking me if he's good or not. He won a Cy Young award.
I didn't ask you if he was good. I asked you if people overrate Zach Greinke.
I think people do overrate him if he's on your team.
Okay, well that's
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
respectful. Hey, that's good.
If he's on your team, you're going to say, "Hey, he's awesome," whatever, But if you're against him, you're going to be like, "Oh, we're going to get a few runs this inning."
Yeah.
Speaking of few runs and the Astros and Zach Greinke, our bullpen has. I mean, golly, can we trade our entire bullpen for DeGrom?
But I thought the Astros were supposed to have done some improvements to the bullpen this year.
Well,
I thought that's one of the things they concentrate on in the offseason is getting some people in here that are going to contribute well to the bullpen.
So far, they have not. Well,
and it's one of the reasons why they are almost tied with the Texas Rangers as far as record goes.
I was going to bring that up. Well, look, the last 3 games we've had the guys out. I said before that just hold off on the beginning. I hate when people jump to conclusions at the beginning.
I agree
of the
with
season.
you. Yes.
Wait till we get 30, 40 games in.
Yes.
And then you find like a routine these guys get in. They'll go, baseball's streaky, right? Like it's a game of streaks. You go on 5-game winning streaks, 4-game losing streaks, 11-game winning streaks. It's nonstop. So just wait till we get 30 or 40 games in with the Astros. Wait till the pitchers kind of get in their groove. And people are just getting used to getting fans back. And there's still games that are getting postponed from COVID. There's all kinds of why the Astros had to play baseball, and there's 3 other MLB teams that didn't, and they have players that had COVID, baffles me.
Well, it's please say if anybody knows what MLB's COVID protocol is, please tell us, because I don't think Major League Baseball knows. But yes, when you look up in the West Division, you see Seattle on top at 10-6.
Same place they were last year. Remember?
Yes.
And people are like, Seattle's amazing, and then I think they lost like 27 games in a row.
Well, what's surprising is also on the East. What's more surprising? The Yankees are last, or the Boston Red Sox are first? I don't think a lot of people anticipated Boston Red Sox being at top of the. Now, again, it's 16 games, 15 games. I'm not tripping out. I'm just saying, this into the season, 16 games, the Boston Red Sox on top. I don't think anybody expected that.
No, I definitely didn't. The Yankees, though, man, people always freak out about their lineup, but they're beatable. They strike out a lot.
Well, and you want to talk about somebody.
And they're not fast.
No, when you talk about somebody I think that's overrated, Giancarlo Stanton. Yep. How overrated is that guy?
It's ridiculous, because all he does is he'll strike out 17 times in a row and hit 1 home run, and it'll be all over ESPN.
Well, it'll be like a 450-footer, and everybody will trip out. And then, yes, ESPN doesn't highlight the 3 strikeouts he had previous to that.
All right, guys, thank y'all for watching Sports with Balls. We appreciate y'all. We know that Lauren Leal is not here.
Are people commenting?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, they did earlier. Where's Lauren? We get it. We're not as excited. Look, we've gone down to like 4 viewers right now.
Oh, really? Okay, well.
But it doesn't matter, because we got the podcast going on.
That's right.
And that's where we get a lot of. This show started out with a podcast. And that's
correct.
Where we're at.
Yes, absolutely.
Steven Silva, what's up?
Steven, what's happening, bud?
Let's get into some of your history, the segment that pretty much everybody looks forward to.
That's right. I know. I'm glad everybody looks forward to it. I mean, it is. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it is the best thing we do on the show. So, but first, I want to thank somebody.
Yeah.
I want to thank Tosin. Texas AV Productions. They are your event partner for all things live production, setup, designing, installation, corporate events, concerts, and touring support. If you mention Sports with Balls, you will receive a free consultation plus 10% off your total bill. Call them at 281-241-7520 and check them out online at txavpro.com. They've got 20 years of experience, and they will, any event, make it unforgettable.
Child support party.
Child support party.
That's the best one.
We've moved on beyond the other party that you normally like.
Divorce party?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm not getting one. I'll die.
Okay, I got you. All right.
So, like,
Yeah, don't worry about that. So we'll have a party for your funeral.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Call Toasting for it.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll throw a good party for that.
Appreciate it.
Don't worry, Jeff. We'll have a lot of fun.
Oh, Kevin, Grant's goodies. I love it.
No, let's don't do that.
Yeah, he'll be here Thursday
I know.
for my birthday, and we're going to put him on.
Oh, it's your birthday Thursday? I didn't know
Oh,
that.
fuck. I was going to go the whole show and not mention it.
I didn't know that. It's your birthday Thursday. Wow. We haven't talked about that at nauseum. All right. So what is today? April 19th? Do you know that?
3 days.
Just got to keep talking about it. I like it. Let's keep bringing up your birthday.
I'll say it every time.
I'll tell you what. Let's don't even talk about history the rest of the time. Let's talk about your birthday. What we're going to do.
Well, we don't know what we're doing yet. I don't know.
All right, cool. April 19th.
Well, I do have dinner tomorrow. I'm going to keep doing it.
I know you are.
I have dinner tomorrow.
That's why I wanted to shut up and just let you talk about your birthday.
All right, let's go.
Don't worry. We got all show Thursday to talk about it.
Ugh.
April 19th, 1986. Did you know, which we'll talk about this on Wednesday, Michael Spinks
Yep.
beat Larry Holmes in 15 for the heavyweight boxing title.
Nice.
Michael Spinks. I'm sure, look, anybody that's listening or watching, if you want to listen about details on Michael Spinks, Larry Holmes, any boxing, listen to us go over history on Lights Out.
Oh, yeah.
Lou will talk about boxing history forever. So.
His knowledge, like his history knowledge is insane.
Yes.
Like from 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, everything, all the way. He knows, like, there's a story about everything that you bring up.
Yes, it's awesome. April 19th, 1991. Did you know Evander Holyfield beat George Foreman in 12 for the heavyweight boxing title?
I didn't know that. Is that when he was 45?
No, he would have probably been younger at that
Because
point.
not Evander, but George Foreman is still the oldest heavyweight champion
Yes.
ever at 45 years old.
Yeah. Well, that was one that Evander won. April 19th, 1897, the very first Boston Marathon was won by John J. McDermott in 2 hours and 55 minutes, the world's oldest annual marathon, inspired by the success of the first marathon of 1896 Summer Olympics.
So they ran 2 hours, 55 minutes.
2 hours and 55 minutes.
In 2020 and 2021, they now run the Boston Marathon in under 2 hours.
Yes. They've almost gained an hour.
I mean, and they're running at a pace now of like 6 minutes or under, like per mile.
Yes. It's crazy.
What are you doing?
Human evolution is amazing. April 19th, 1996, the Texas Rangers.
I mean, I've heard tidbits about it and people talk about it, but I've never actually read his book. It's like his story is insane. It's like the ups and downs and trials and tribulations are just. I mean, talk about somebody that lived a hard life.
That dude would, all of his tattoos he's got.
Yeah.
He would sit in a tattoo parlor in a chair, high as a kite, and just tell the tattoo guy, just tattoo me. Whatever you want to do. Just practice on me. And that's why he has all those tattoos. The guy was just practicing on them.
That dude's crazy.
April 19th, 1997, the San Diego Padres are out of first place for the first time since 1926. So they went from
That is absolutely
1926 to 1928 in first place.
Wow.
So that was the first time they were, and it's just funny that correlates with where they're at right now. April 19th, 1960. Did you
Dogg, if y'all didn't watch the Jake Paul fight, won $2 million from Dana White.
How? I didn't see
Was
that.
the bet. Like after the Jake Paul fight, Snoop Dogg was up and he's like, "Show me, give me my money, give me my money." Is yelling, and I didn't know who he placed the bet with, but him and Dana White had a $2 million bet
On what?
on the fight.
Which one? The Jake Paul one?
Jake Paul. So Dana White has to fork up the 1.7 or $2 million to Snoop Dogg, which is really interesting.
Well, just so you know, Dana White's worth $500 million, so I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's good. Rockets. The Houston Rockets are 3-32 in their last 35 games and now own the worst record in the NBA.
I'd have to say I think it's fantastic. I cheer this. This is awesome.
I did watch a little bit of Luka overseas playing the other night, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, he was a baller, when he was 17 years old.
Yes.
I mean, he was playing versus
EuroLeague MVP at 18.
Yeah, he's the man.
And that's like what they say is the league's second to the NBA.
Michael Jordan's going to induct Kobe Bryant, the Hall of Fame speech. That should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The only thing that bothers me about it's because Michael Jordan has that meme, the crying meme.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like everybody.
I'm so
uses it.
tired of seeing it.
Me too. So maybe they'll get another one. That should be a pretty incredible speech. You don't get to hear from Michael too often.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see him induct Kobe.
Well, that's a ton of respect to Kobe.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Michael
greatest.
Jordan's doing that's fantastic, man.
That'll be fun to watch. Stuart Sink won at age 46 years old.
I watched some of that.
Awesome, so good. And there's a picture of him and his daughter, and it was 24 years ago at the same tournament, and he won it.
Yeah.
24 years later, it's him standing next to his daughter.
Well, and his son was his
daughter's
caddy.
like 18 months old in the picture.
Yeah, his son was his caddy, so he had his son there. But yeah, he was getting a little touchy there, but he hit I think it was a par 3 at 16. I think he hit a pretty good shot, which kind of pretty much sealed it for him. So good for him.
All right, y'all, running up against it, 8 o'clock. We're sorry that Lauren wasn't here today, but hopefully we kept you
don't be mad.
Hopefully we kept you entertained. I want to thank Dan Green and Mike Leitner for both coming on the show. I want to tell
Yes, sir.
Washington Ho, you better call me, man. You gotta get you on the next show. Thank you to Christians Midtown over here at 2000 Bagby. Also, we want to thank David Carrier at Smarter Mortgage, 281-650-0648.
Zach Alley.
Joe Applewhite, 713-291-5270.
Zach and Alley, they working hard again. They do.
Oh, yeah. Zach and Alley, and obviously Max Sports, maxxsports.com. Let's see. Hybrid Technologies, got them in here. Construction
Concepts, give them a call if you want to build some shit. They'll do it for you. And we also want to thank Texas AV Productions. If you want an event, whether it's a child support ending party, a divorce party, or a funeral, they'll get you going.
And money management. Apparently, you got to have a 720 credit score to be.
Don't take my word for that. I'm just guessing.
Should you have a card in your pocket, like what people like when you're like out at a bar or whatever, and somebody like?
Should a card, like a credit card?
No, like a credit report card, because doesn't your credit report like reflect who you are?
Yes.
So if like you see a hot girl and you're like, oh hey, you're at the bar, like, and she pulls out a card and it says like 540, what are you doing?
I'd go find another girl to talk to.
See, maybe we need one of those.
Because that means she's going to be expecting you to co-sign for stuff. That's how it goes. Be like, look, I can't afford it, so can you help me out, baby? Can you help me out?
Co-sign.
Co-sign. Come on. It's a BMW. It's used.
Well, I co-sign on Sports with Balls, y'all. Thank y'all for paying attention. Look, man, we're running up again. This was episode 91. Can you believe that, man? We've got 9 more until we reach 100.
Are you tired of me yet?
Am I tired of you yet?
Yeah.
I see you 3 days a week now. It's getting a bit much.
I know, dude. Can you believe that?
And I saw you Saturday.
And Saturday. Jesus.
It's annoying. But we'll see you guys on Thursday. I'm not even going to say it, but it'll be a big show.
It will be. Aren't they all?
Thursday night over here at Christian Tailgate, Sports with Balls. We'll be live at 7 p.m. Listen, I'm Jeff Michael. This is Grant Miles. Thank y'all for watching, y'all. We're out.
Y'all.
Jump in my 6'4" and let the
Yeah.
hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and an orange kush sweet. Cause this is how we do it in that 713. My candy red paint cocked up on 4. Shocking and body rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, and